When we first saw him, he didn't try to run. He didn't bark. He didn't even lift his head. He was lying on cold concrete, breathing so slowly that for a moment we honestly thought he was already gone, as if he had already decided not to fight anymore. We found him behind an old grocery store in one of those forgotten places where people leave things they don't want anymore. Broken boxes, old furniture, trash bags, and sometimes living beings. He had been left there like an object that no longer mattered. He was a medium-sized, mixed-breed dog, painfully thin, every rib visible. His brown fur was dirty and matted, and one of his ears was bent in a strange way, like it had healed wrong a long time ago. Around his neck was an old piece of rope, not a leash, not something meant to bring him back, just rope. We later named him Oliver, not because it sounded strong or heroic, but because it sounded gentle, and at that moment, gentle was exactly what he needed. When we carefully tried to touch him, his body tensed. He didn't growl or snap. He just flinched, like he was bracing himself for pain he had already learned to expect. It was clear that human hands had not been kind to him before. His condition was worse than it looked. Severe dehydration, extreme malnutrition, an untreated infection that had likely been there for weeks. His body wasn't failing from one bad day. It was tired from a long time without help. At the veterinary clinic, everything was quiet. The vet examined him gently, then looked at us and said we could try, but we should prepare ourselves. Dogs in this condition often don't make it through the night. That sentence stays with you. Prepare yourself. The first night was the hardest. Oliver wouldn't eat or drink on his own. We gave him fluids slowly, carefully, like every movement mattered. At around 3 a.m, his breathing became shallow and irregular, and I sat on the floor next to him thinking, please don't let him die alone. When morning finally came, something small happened. Oliver moved his paw. Just slightly, but it was intentional. Later, he licked a bit of food from my fingers. It didn't mean he was safe, but it meant he was still fighting. And that was enough for us to keep going. The weeks that followed were painfully slow. Some days he seemed stronger, and other days it felt like we were back at the beginning. He was afraid of sudden movements, loud voices, and leashes, so we never forced him. We let him decide when he was ready. The first time he wagged his tail, it was barely noticeable, but we noticed. The first night he slept without shaking, we noticed that too. Healing doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it's quiet, almost invisible. About a month into his recovery, I almost gave up, not because of Oliver, but because of myself. Rescue work changes you. You carry every story, every loss, every what if. Oliver reminded me that saving someone doesn't mean fixing everything. Sometimes it just means staying. Today, Oliver is different. He eats, he plays, and while he still doesn't trust everyone, he trusts us. He loves soft blankets, hates loud noises, and insists on sleeping near the door, like he's still guarding something. We don't know who hurt Oliver, and honestly, we don't need to. What matters is that someone didn't give up on him when it would have been easier to walk away. And somehow, he hasn't given up on us either.